Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Were the $1,400 stimulus checks too much? Was the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan too much? As you know, there have been concerns about individuals like Larry Summers, who was a former official with the U.S. government. Larry Summers specifically said that this was too much. The $1.9 trillion stimulus package was too much and that it would cause inflation. This caused a lot of upheaval and there were a lot of reactions from the White House in response to Larry Summers. Well, in some brand new reporting, a former Obama economist, Jason Forman, who is the former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors under former President Barack Obama, said that President Joe Biden's spending plan in the American Rescue Plan was too big. And he says, I don't know any economist who supported this large spending plan. And he said this during a recent segment on Bloomberg Surveillance with Tom Keene. And folks, this is very interesting because according to new reporting, this stimulus is helping individuals get back on their feet, is helping individuals put food on the table, make rent, keep the lights on. However, there are concerns that a lot of this money is going to individuals who don't need it, and essentially individuals who are saving the money, or it could result in inflation, which means things cost more, food costs more, gas costs more, everything costs more. So let's take a close look at Jason Forman's comments about this being too much. And I want to know from our viewers and subscribers whether you agree or disagree with comments from Jason Forman, a former senior Obama economic official, as to whether this stimulus bill, the third stimulus package, the $1,400 stimulus checks, were too much. Keep in mind, as I'm recording this episode of Ignition Time, President Biden is working closely with his team in the White House for an infrastructure package, which according to his latest proposal is going to be in the $1.7 trillion range. And the counter proposal from the Republicans, which is expected any day now, is going to be significantly smaller. And it doesn't look like the president will bite, because the Democrats want to do something larger and bolder. And that's what the American Rescue Plan, the $1.9 trillion stimulus plan, was all about. But now, let's take a look at comments from Jason Forman, a former White House economic advisor under former President Barack Obama, who says that there was not a single economist who agreed, according to him, not a single economist who agreed with the importance, with the need for the large American Rescue Plan. Let's roll the tape and hear from Jason Forman.
Jason, wonderful to have you with us at this moment. You're going to tell me, as a public policy type, that we need to see more data, that we need to see 2 or 3 months data. Does President Biden and others wait for that data, or must they adjust to this report?
Look, I think the main people who need to adjust to this report, adjust to the jobs report we got last year, is the Federal Reserve. The other part of it is looking at what we can do in our economy to address the biggest thing we have, which is a constraint on supply. We need more supply. Shots in arms are doing a lot. My guess is there's a lot more people working in May than in April. But when you take this, plus the jobs report on Friday, plus the totality of the data, I think we have a very different picture of the economy right now than a lot of people held a week ago.
It's a different picture of the economy. Vice Chairman Chhoda will speak here in, I believe, 24 minutes. Does he adjust? Is there one word or one sentence that will begin a tone of a Federal Reserve shifting their language?
I don't know. I mean, they're very big on this being transitory. A lot of this is transitory. We saw a 10% increase in the used cars and trucks market in April.
Okay, but Jason, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm looking at rentals in New York City that are not transitory. As Michael McKee just mentioned, higher rents are real, not transitory.
I agree. I was going to say, you are going to be able to point to things that are transitory. I think your best guess has to be that this isn't entirely transitory. The Fed and others have rested a lot on inflation expectations being anchored. This is the type of thing that's going to start to move those inflation expectations. So yes, I think the problem is you can point to all sorts of transitory things, strip all of those out, add in what we know about how much demand we have in our economy, how little supply we still have, I think this bears some caution and should change the way people are thinking about the economy.
Jason, what do you think that means for the relief package we passed just a couple of months ago, when Larry Summers and others, including Olivier Blanchard, came out and said it was too big for the moment we're in? Do you think this is evidence of that?
Oh, it was definitely too big for the moment. I don't know any economist that was recommending something the size that what was done. The question is how big the downside was. I wouldn't leap to a judgment yet on the basis of April. This is 1 month's data. The data are obviously extremely noisy. We knew as the economy reopened, there would be all sorts of patches along the way, rough patches along the way. But, I think there's a certain amount to that logic. And let's try to do what we can to make it not true. How do we make Larry's prediction not true? We increase labor supply, and the Fed is a little bit more cautious to help keep inflation anchored.
Jason, can I get your thoughts then on what happened on Friday when we saw that big miss and we talked about the supply side story and the mismatch between demand and supply, and that maybe prices would need to adjust? Arguably, as you've pointed out, we saw that in wages already, and we could see that a whole lot more in months to come. Some governors of Republican states have decided that they need to remove the additional UI, the unemployment insurance that was offered by the federal government and the package that was delivered recently. Do you think that's the right decision to fill that gap?
Yeah, so the big miss on Friday was wages. The expectation for wages was 0.0%. The actual number was 0.7%. Even that actual number understated what actually happened because of composition effects. The real number is probably more like 0.9%. Either way, that's the fastest wage growth we've had since the 1980s. So you're not looking at one isolated data point around used trucks. This is everywhere around us. If I were in a state with a 3.5% unemployment rate, I'd be thinking seriously about whether paying people more to not work than to work was a good thing to continue doing.
Jason, lost for words there. Are you in agreement with Republican governors then, in places like Arkansas, Iowa, Montana, South Carolina?
It depends on where you are in the virus. It depends on where you are in your unemployment rate. But certainly by June, July, August of this year, I don't think we need the same UI system we had in January. In January, it made sense. 3,000 people were dying a day. We wanted to give people an option other than work and support them in that option. In an increasingly hot labor market for a lot of states, it may not make sense. It may not make sense in the same way. So I think they should be taking a hard look at it.
Dr. Forman, I just did a study here. Thank you, John, for extending that out because I was working the Bloomberg terminal. Jason, I did a standard deviation study on a monthly basis of core CPI back to the time of Paul Volcker. Maybe around 1990, I can find a jump condition in core CPI like we see now. We do interview after interview where experts like you say it's about the jump that we see in inflation. Right now, we're seeing a jump that I would suggest is near original. How should we respond to that?
Yeah, the economy is going to do weird things. We saw a collapse that was, historic last year in prices. We're seeing some of what we're seeing now is the unwinding of that. Some of what we're seeing is different sectors come back at different paces. So I wouldn't leap all the way to where, we're not worried about inflation now, we're worried about hyperinflation. It's going to be 0.9 every month from now on. But, what I'm saying is just a recalibration of views. Discount the data a lot because of the weirdness. Don't discount the data all the way. You should update your views some.
So that was Jason Forman, a former Obama economist. The big question is, was the American Rescue Plan too much? Was there too much stimulus? And should there have been less stimulus? As you already know, Republican officials from all over the country, 22 states to be specific, have cut back on the $300 a week unemployment booster and have said that they no longer want to offer that booster to their residents. In fact, that booster was supposed to continue along with the pandemic unemployment assistance program until September of this year. But now it's going to be cut back sooner than expected. What do you think of this? Do you agree or disagree with this rationale, not just from Republican officials, as you can see, but also from former White House economic advisors under former President Barack Obama, saying that the American Rescue Plan was too big for the moment, was too much, and is going to lead to more problems down the road. Again, this is not just from Republicans, but we have individuals like Larry Summers, we have individuals like Jason Forman, basically saying that this was too much and it was not necessary. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below whether it was too much. In my personal opinion, the stimulus should have been better targeted to individuals earning below a certain income level. It should have been more targeted to individuals who were directly impacted as a result of the pandemic, individuals in travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality. In my opinion, the stimulus should also have been geared more towards families, so that families with children, specifically families below a certain income level, would have gotten the help that they needed. Individuals in travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality have suffered significantly more as a direct result of this pandemic, and therefore need more help compared to individuals with higher education levels, individuals with a graduate degree, a college degree or higher, were doing and are doing just fine as a result of this pandemic. Individuals who are executives, individuals who have the flexibility to work from home, individuals who don't need to be physically present in order to be able to carry out their functions, their responsibilities, whether it's working for their employer or running their own business, had little to no impact as a result of this pandemic. And that is the big lesson that I think we are learning. In my opinion, the stimulus was not too big, but it could definitely have been better targeted specifically to individuals who needed help the most. Was there some waste in the stimulus? Yes, there was. There always will be when we're talking about $2 trillion and when we're talking about the government. For that matter, any government, including the US government, there's always going to be waste. The question should not be whether the help is too much or too little. The question should be, is help going to those who need it the most? Let me know what you think in the comment section below, everyone. I value the feedback, the comments from our community. My goal with the Ignition Time channel is to make sure that our viewers and subscribers have all the latest information as it pertains to the country, the economy, as well as their money, because I want you to be a better educated, more informed citizen so that you can make the necessary decisions that allow you to maximize your financial potential and your ability to live the American dream. My goal is to help you live the American dream. This right here is a little bit of information about me. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. I encourage you to please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I would really appreciate that. That is your way of supporting our channel, because a lot of effort goes into the production of these videos. A lot of effort goes into the creation of the content that you see in this episode of Ignition Time. This isn't a simple process. There are many layers involved to the creation of content on our website, and all you have to do is take a second of your time to click the like button, to click subscribe and enable notifications. Let me know what you think, again, of Jason Forman's comments about the fact that this was too big and it was excessive, and the fact that this was not something that any economist agreed with, which is quite an interesting comment. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.